Hi everyone, welcome. I am Rachel Chamness at soundwavesheal.com. I'm a Shamanic Channel and Mentor, and I help lightworkers open their psychic senses and channel higher beings of light, both messages and healing, which I deeply believe in, that these two things go together. So thank you for joining me. I'm now also live in the Facebook group 5D Daily. And I'm live in two other places at Soundwaves Heal on YouTube and Facebook. So today I wanted to trans-channel this being of light from the Pleiades. His name is Armand. I have channeled him before a long time ago. So here's the story. Are you ready? Okay. Welcome to 5D Channels and Chats with Rachel Chamness. As a shamanic channel and mentor, I'll be sharing wisdom and healing from higher dimensions through channeling beings of light. You will also hear liquid Reiki shamanic sound healing, channels between intuitives, and discussion on higher dimensional healing and channeling. You'll find links and more in the show notes, so be sure to check them. You can find me at soundwavesheal.com and my Facebook group, 5D Daily Spiritual Healers in Higher Dimensions. So a long time ago in 2019, I was channeling for my Tag Lightworkers group, which I've had for a long time. So in 2019, they insisted I had to start channeling galactic beings, which I really resisted, and then I had to kind of start doing and actually talk about this in the Beings book, which is that book that was supposed to come out yesterday, where I have a chapter about the blue avians, and it should be out in a few days. Amazon's being glitchy, but it should be finished in a few days. Christine, I do want to answer that question. You said I can't wait to read it if it's available internationally. The Beings book is available internationally because all the authors are international. Anyway, back to this. So I channeled him, and it's really interesting. So we still have the old everything in text. There's more than 60 programs of like connecting to all these different beings of light and things. So in 2019, we did 5 or 6 months straight of all different kinds of different galactic beings. And when we did the Pleiades, what I saw is really interesting. It was like a group of 12 beings sitting in a circle with like this white sort of like halo over them as they were, and they told me they were sending me a message from there, and that, you know, that they were incarnate there and they were sending me the messages. So I was channeling them, and they were talking about, well, it was a long time ago, so they were really talking about things that we all know now about, you know, yes, there is an ascension, yes, you know, you're on the path of light, and things that are, you know, these days, we got it. We're light workers, all that stuff. And then they told me that, or he told me, Armand told me that they were Abraham, like Esther Hicks Abraham. So that blew my mind because I used to watch Esther Hicks before I was a medium, and Jerry Hicks, and I've listened to their books. I read their books. I think that they're amazing. And the law of attraction, I've been studying it for a really long time, and that just blew me away because, I mean, I'm sure that there are many moments where I was like, oh, that's so cool. I wish I could do something like that. And now I do. So anyway, I never got any confirmation that they were really Pleiadians. Fast forward yesterday, I Googled it, and it did say they were Pleiadians, but then I read it deeper, and it says that Abraham says they don't really come from any one place, and that they're not from any one place. And, you know, whatever Esther Hicks is getting, she knows them better than anyone else. So then I had this question. Well, Armand, then like explain this to me. And so he did explain it to me. He said that in this 12 beings, many of them have been in the group of Abraham. That the group of Abraham, it's like it's a group. It's a lot of souls, and they do interchange. And sometimes people take on the responsibility of Abraham for a while and then not forever. And some of them have been in there before. So that's what he meant by that. It was really interesting too, because there was this other part where, well, I had been watching Gaia at that time, and I was like, that was totally like, wow, look at these guys, David and Corey, and they're talking. These are two like just, you know, dudes talking about all the stuff that we talk about, and getting the same information that I'm getting. But they were getting something else about how, and this is what I used to believe, that, you know, spaceships were going to come from the sky and pick us up, and we could just like skip Ascension, and they would bring us up there and help and like some people were warriors and some people were doing light work, and you know, I'm not a warrior. I don't, you know, I like to work with love and acceptance, and what warriors do too, but I mean in a different kind of energy. And that some of us would just go up into the spaceship while the earth reset. Now that might still be true, and I do feel like that is maybe still true, but it's a little bit different. You know, they were kind of selling the energy of you don't have to do anything, just wait, and then they'll pick you up, and then, you know, you can skate through Ascension. But we've come to see that that's not it. Now, I've always been a big proponent of work on yourself. I've always worked on myself my whole life. I've been really drawn to improving myself all the time. And I know that you guys are too, spiritual seekers, and in the same way. So when I thought about that masterclass, I always thought that I had channeled that they were like, and then we're going to show up in the spaceships and, you know, save you. And I thought, oh, that must be another timeline or something, because that's not really it. But then I watched it yesterday, and that's not what they said. They said that when there's a solar flash, you will see the spaceships everywhere. That's what they said. And I was like, you know, I have chills. Of course we will. Yeah. So now, because they're already there, we just can't see them. So, okay. Armand said he wanted to come through for my ethereal TV show. So the next one I'm recording is with him. It's episode 11, I think, is the next one I'm recording, which will be out. Ethereal TV relaunches in September. It'll be streaming. It's actually going to be a really cool thing. It's a whole new innovative thing. They're going to have social media. They're going to have all kinds of stuff. There's in their phase 2 and 3 rollout. It's going to be amazing. But in phase 1, you're going to, you know, you can watch it on your TV or your phone, just like Gaia or Netflix or anything like that. So I'm very excited about it. Anyway, I watched it yesterday, and I was reminded about that he had talked about the solar flash, and interestingly, the activation he's doing in my ethereal TV show, which is called Higher Realm Activations, it's Trance-Channeling and attunement to concepts. It's like a mini tag. It's like what we do in tag, but just a little bit, 30 minutes. Like if you want more, we do tons and tons of it, and in tag, so much more meditations, more attunements than just one little thing in each program is full of stuff. And it's also made so you could do it like 20, 30 minutes a week and be like so on your path. You don't have to do everything. But then if you have the bug and you want to watch all the things, you can. Anyway, enough about that. Interestingly, he said solar light alignment was the attunement. And then when I went back yesterday and watched it, he was talking about the solar flares. Okay, so that was a really long introduction. I want to channel him and ask him about this whole solar flare thing. So a lot of people are like thinking the solar flare is coming this year. I have to say, you know, also I'm a Gen X, but I just feel like, I don't know. They said that in 2019, it didn't happen. So, you know, timelines, right? We'll see. We'll see. So let's see what he has to say. If you have questions, you can pop them in. Of course, 5D Daily gets priority on that. But if you put them in the other ones, I'll answer it, especially if I know you're in 5D Daily. So when might that solar flash happen? Yeah, I mean, let's see. I doubt we're going to get a real answer on that. Nobody's giving real answers because timelines change every minute, and everyone has a different timeline too. We're not all in the same timeline. Okay, let's channel Armand. See what he has to say. He's like, oh, he talks so much. I guess he's been waiting 10 minutes to come in. Sorry. I am Armand, and I am from the Pleiades. This is true. I am speaking for us 12. 12 is a very powerful number. And so we are 12 who transmit this message to you. It has been some time since I have spoken through this being, but we have been conversing for the last few days. So there are a few things to say. One is that it is true that we, at one point, most of us, have spent time in the group known as Abraham. So yes, in 2019, your time, many of us were also in that group. At this time, only one of us is still in that group, so we cannot make the claim, so you say. We joined Abraham for some time to increase our vibration and learn more how to help the collective. And this is a very easy way to reach more beings on Earth because of the large reach and respect that is given to Esther Hicks. Now we are also very happy to come through other mediums when we are able. Yes, you wish to know about solar flashing. The solar flashes are happening all the time. Will there be one great event? There are two, actually. And it is not so much a huge change in the 5D timeline, but it will signal the end of the split. So there are two timelines, at least, but two major roads of timelines. You have the 3D timeline, which is not what any of you are on. Of course, any spiritual seeker is at least somewhat on the 5D timeline. And the 5D timeline. In the 5D, you are experiencing release from 4D interference and 3D. So what's happening is, of course, 4D interference has ramped up into your life and your actions for its last grasp as you begin to out vibrate them on this path. This path is not exactly the same for everyone. For each one of you has to go through your lessons, and any lesson that you have not gone through yet, you will have to do now. So you may be feeling bombarded with lessons, bombarded with learning. However, you may be going through it faster because you are cycling through each one faster. You are trying to get there and you are willing to take it on. If you will recall, many years ago, if one of these things happened, you might have spiraled for weeks before you could get to the next task. But now you are rapidly going through the tasks, rising above it, getting through it, and getting to the next one very quickly. And that makes a big, big difference and shows you how much farther ahead you are now than then. And once you're through it, you're willing again to take on another one or your higher self. But if you feel that this is too much, you can put a stop to it. You can ask your spirit guides to go through it more slowly, and that is fine. You will still get there to Ascension. There are many years of this split, and you may continue to do it a little bit slower. But a lot of you feel the drive to get through it faster, therefore you're circling through your lessons faster. Or you're feeling the push to release all of this density that you are still carrying, all this untruth, all this programming, so many layers of programming. It does take time to release. And none of you are fully enlightened. You will have more to learn before you are fully 5D. And even then, there is an in-between phase for you to get used to the new vibration into the new crystalline aspect of your body, and there will be more humanness there. It is not one big flash and you're done. Poof, poof. Everything changes in a blink of an eye. Although it will feel that it changes quickly, the flash is not what does it. So if you're asking me to tell you when the flash that changes the connection to the 3D timeline, meaning releases it completely, it is different for everyone. Will you see the light of flash in your timeline? Yes, most of you will. However, don't be surprised if you don't. It is not necessary. This is a great big focus on solar flash. But really, we'd like you to focus on your own self instead. It doesn't matter when the flash is. You will be prepared because it will be on time in your timeline. So there's no worry about missing it, not being prepared, or losing it, therefore needing to know when it is. We understand that you live on a a regular time. It is something that you are used to in the third dimension, but in the fifth dimension, you are outside of time. So it is different. And part of getting there is learning not to so concretely attach yourself to time. We understand there are things you have to do in time. You have meetings, you have to pick up the children, you have to go to work, you have to do things. Sure. But when is it going to happen is not important. It is happening. It is here. And you must just continually adjust to the new frequencies. Okay. This is Rachel. Whew, my glasses are fogged. Whew, he can't get it out fast enough. Stephanie says, I know. I did some exercises to try to get them to talk a little faster. So I was like annoyed. Because I trans-channel so many beings. Like if I were just going to trans-channel Alpar, it'd be really fast. But I need these guys to talk a little faster. So, okay. This is actually not new news to me, but I'm glad he's saying it. It's like, it doesn't matter when it's happening. That was a good question though. When, like, are we going to see it? I was wondering about that. So, okay. Who has questions? Let's ask them some questions. We got a few minutes. I could ask like one or two questions. It definitely worked. Stephanie said, yeah, Missy was helping me with that. I was like, how can I get this faster? There'll be less editing in my TV show and it'll be easier. So, I just have this thing where I'm like, well, I don't want to talk to them beforehand because I want to be surprised. Like whatever he brings forward, I want to be like, oh my gosh, I'm surprised with you. And I want to be, I don't know. It's like, I don't like to watch other mediums either because then I'm like, I start to get what they're getting. And then I feel like, well, that's their thing. And I don't want to take that. And this is silly. All of that's silly, but it is things that I think about. So I have a hard time watching other mediums. Probably the only mediums I watch are the tag team. I don't know. So I just thought, well, then if I need to trance them faster, like my partner guides, then I need to just start talking to them. So that's my thing that I'm getting over this week. So I'm glad you guys liked it. But does anyone have a question for Armand? Okay. Mary says, I can't put it on the screen, but she says, wow, I just tuned in 5 minutes ago and this is all resonating so much. There has definitely been an acceleration in learning and purging old stuff for me this year. Yeah, I'm getting that. Me too. All my clients, everybody hearing it over and over and over. And then she says, so many layers, but I feel like I've quantum leaped at least some, finally, with some major help from amazing people that come into my life. That's great. Wonderful. We're working on timelines right now in TAG, and it's really helpful to understand, jumping and all that stuff. And actually, Missy and I had this great conversation yesterday. Like, what's the difference between a timeline and a quantum leap? And they're like, the quantum leap is to get into the vibration, and timeline is just timeline. When you change timelines, it's like a big Mandela effect. It's like, did I always have this? Like everything feels weird and different. But a quantum leap is more like, okay, now I'm in that vibration. Okay, so Marie has a question. When it comes to the split, will there be some in 5D and some left behind? Okay, I can answer this for you. I do know the answer, but I'll ask you. Okay. Let's probably answer this question on YouTube too. This question is important that you understand that no one is ever left behind because you are all here on Earth with a purpose. Those who have the purpose to learn about deep density on the 3D timeline will experience that in their life. And then they will come back to their higher self, to spirit, to their soul. You will experience the 5D timeline and come back to your higher self, your experience, your soul. And in 5D, you can contact anybody, anywhere, anytime. They do not need to be incarnate or on your timeline. You will be, in essence, a great medium. And so you do not need to worry about losing anyone. And if you think, yes, but they won't be here with me, then you don't understand the density of the fifth dimension. For it is not much different than speaking to someone who was somewhere else in another density, another timeline. It is totally different in the way that it's laid out, and we cannot explain this to you except that if you've ever been in a meditation and you've reached a very high state of vibration and you've talked to beings of the light, and it is easy, it will be like that all the time because you'll be in that vibration all the time. And you may also speak to your friends and your family and your loved ones in the 3D, and they have chosen this, and that is why they are doing it. For their highest good and their highest soul purpose. They wish to know what it feels like to go down with war and fear and the matrix crumbling around them. They want to know what that feels like when they don't know that they have spirit guides, when they don't know that love is the answer, when they don't know these things because they have earthly amnesia. All on the 5D timeline are coming out of earthly amnesia. And so again, you can incarnate again on Sirius, on Earth, on the Pleiades, anywhere you'd like, and you will have more time with them. You will never leave anyone. No one's being left behind. Everyone has their choice. Ooh. That was a good way to put it. It's true. We all have our choices. I got an email from someone the other day who said, oh, the reason I haven't gotten back to you is because I went to see another medium, and instead of her helping me, she, that's not how she put it. She helped me more by, turning me to Pentecostal religion. And so now I just wanted to tell you that from the deepest heart for me, you're messing with the devil and you really should stop. I hope that you'll listen to me. And I was like, you know what? We all have a path in this life. You're a beautiful soul. You've chosen your path. I wish you the best of luck with it. I mean, what are you going to say? Everyone has their path. So it's not us to say that they need to change it. They're following their path, the one they've come here to experience. Whew. Okay, Taylor says, how can we out vibrate faster to the elevated timeline, and what does the 5D feel like? Well, I think he was saying it's hard to say what it feels like. As far as elevated timelines, we talk about that in tag, but let me ask him, see if he can give me a short answer on how we can vibrate faster to elevated timeline. The 5D will feel differently as your feelings, your clairs, and your senses are slightly different. And if you can explain a feeling, that is a difficult thing to do. And we don't know how to explain to you how it feels, except for what we were speaking of before in a higher vibration of meditation. What that feels like, that is closer to how you will feel more often. How can you find your highest timeline is to be able to connect with them better and be able to jump from one to another. And this is a long explanation, but it does include opening your psychic senses more so that you can connect and find the timeline that you wish. This is Rachel. Might be easier to quantum jump if you don't know how. We do talk about that in tag. That's what we've been talking about the last 2 months. It's more, we've been doing more where Saint Germain, where they've been connecting us to those timelines, like connecting us to foresight, to seeing the future so that we can see or find with our other senses the timelines and connect to them. But you can ask your guides to help you find it, or you can do like a session for it. Like a lot of people do that in like SEH, BQH, Beyond Quantum Healing, things like that. I can do it in sessions too. It's kind of fun stuff. Okay, Lizzie. Hey, Rachel, when it comes to Ascension and 3D, 5D splitting, will those that ascend to the 5D physically change to a 5D plane where they don't see our 3D world anymore? Or will it be a state of mind that we still live in our current world with 5D consciousness where we see alien spirits, high dimensional beings, and live life from a higher vibration from our heart? Yes. When we ascend, we will physically change to crystalline body structure and thoughts. It will be a separate world. We'll be in a world where the earth is changing and looks different. We'll be coming higher down. The earth does have a fifth dimensional place already. That's where the Fae are. That's where many, many beings are already. And we aren't there yet. But it is happening because it's outside of time. So they're already there. We just have to come up to them. That's why we can sometimes see them or sometimes hear them, or, you know, in meditation, we can reach them. It's because that's where they are. They're here, especially elementals. This is their earth. So, oh, so many questions. Those that go to 5D, does this mean they will vacate their earthly vessels? No, your body will change. Let's see. Global warming and how will, what can you tell us about global warming? So we're kind of close to out of time, but I'll tell you that that's a 3D timeline. That's how you'll survive it. The Fae always tell me it's very easy to change Gaia back to its original blueprint, especially it's already like that in the 5D. So you don't have to worry about that. Don't know if this was asked. Do we need to know anything right now? Oh, that's a good question. Let's ask that. Yeah, confirmation, carbon to crystalline. That's right. Okay, last question. We'll ask this question from Joanne. What you need to know right now is that you must ground deeply. Make sure that every day you're disconnecting, not only from the 3D matrix, but from the 3D consciousness, which is full of fear, overthinking, and full of psychic implants and untruths. And plug deeply into Gaia's 5th dimensional grid. Connect to your spirit guides, learn to connect to them, learn to connect to all of your angels and helpers in this life. That is the greatest thing that you can do, if nothing else. If you're already there, then working on yourself always, learning exactly why you're here and working on that as best as you can. That's only what we ask of you, to work on something as best as you can. We don't wish you to be perfect. We don't wish you to do it exactly right. In fact, we expect for you to do it wrong many times. That's how you're going to learn how to do it better. There's always an exercise of doing it better, of getting there and doing it better, and getting through whatever's happening now. If that's all you can do, then that's all you can do. There are many periods of life that cycle and vacillate. You'll be going through parts of maybe grief, or of maybe change, or even denying change or pushing away change, and then accepting change, and then going through changes, and realizing that you've thought of things all wrong, and changing that habit to think of things in another way, and to release old triggers, which sometimes may flare up. It's always a constant learning on Earth. It's a school. Earth is a school, and you're on the 5D timeline because that's the schooling you wanted. And some of your friends are on the 3D timeline because that's the schooling they wanted. You know, being on the 3D timeline really teaches you how to be of service, because it teaches you exactly what it feels like in the worst scenario. So if you're going to be a guardian angel, if you're going to incarnate as an angel, then you need to understand these concepts so that you can truly help. Or if you want to be a spirit guide, if you want to be helpful in some way, then you need to understand it. And that's where you'll find most of the incarnates who are in the 3D timeline. And they are doing the best that they can, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Even when you feel like you fail, that is what you're supposed to do. And so take heart and know that we're all around you and that we're helping. There are many, many starseed beings here who are outside your planet or in your atmosphere. You cannot see us, for there are camouflage both by us and your overlord government. And so you cannot see us. But when you are fully away from that 3D, 4D timeline, then you will see us. And it is right what I gave the message before. When you experience the complete separation from the 3D, you will see all the ships. You will see us everywhere. And if you're starting to see them, then you know you're getting close. You're on the right track. If you see them and then you don't see them, oh, you may have some work to do to get your vibration back up. And it's never a bad thing. It's only more learning. So I'll leave you with that. And I thank you for coming. Ooh, my neck hurts. That was a good question, Joanne. Whew, that was fun. Let's see. Lizzie said, the children of the sun, the golden ones. I don't know about that, but I hope you figure it out. You ask your spirit guides. If you guys don't have my spirit guide package, I really recommend that you get it because it's free and it will help you begin this spirit guide connection. You want to connect to your spirit guides. You want to understand them. And hey, if you want to get some help for channeling, but you don't have a lot of money, like you aren't able to do tag lightworkers or anything like that, then I do these channeling courses once a month. They're part of tag, but you can also join the channeling class. In September, we'll be bringing forth a Fae being from your spirit team, and it'll be very helpful for you. So yeah, if you want to join, it's $55, and there's a 40% off coupon inside 5D Daily. I'm happy to tag anybody in that. If you want to come, and I'll help you start to channel. And then if you can do tag lightworkers, that will help you a great deal too. If you want to reach out, happy to help you. Sessions, tag, classes. Of course, I teach a full professional course too for mediumship and healing and higher dimensional work as well, of course. So I hope you guys like that. I hope that was helpful. And I'll see you next week. And then I'm excited because Armand is going to come to Ethereal TV for my show, which is called Higher Realm Activations. So I'm excited to have him do that. And I like that. He's bringing activation to the solar light activation, which is pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for coming. Thank you guys so much. And I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. If you are a healer or spiritual entrepreneur, present or future, I'd like to invite you to my Facebook group, 5D Daily, Spiritual Healers in Higher Dimensions, where I'll be live for more discussion and questions on Thursdays. I'll put the link in the show notes. I'm Rachel Chamness at Sound Waves Heal.